You can find this material on Edline by going to the Media Center folder on the right side of Edline, choosing Handouts, English, and then Scarlet Letter. Today we want to look at what resources would I recommend having gone through and typed in some of your topics. I think, again, the more specific you can be with your search terms, the better luck you're going to have, and that's going to help you even more so than deciding which database to choose. Ebooks are also another option, as well as some of the books within the Media Center. We've set up a sort of inspiration table where you're going to have a bunch of options to look through some of the fiction books that we have. So they're actually not true stories, but may give you some inspiration in terms of what things going on in people's lives may be examples of sin or hypocrisy or perhaps a residual Puritan lifestyle that we still have. If you go into the ebooks, if you use the search box on the top, this will search all of our books. Okay. I would go ahead and use the Boolean search terms like shame and bullying. I would take a look in orange at the title of the article, and then underneath it says the title of the book that it comes from. And I would pick, based on the book, which thing I think relates the best. So if I'm looking at shame and bullying, looking at major 21st century writers does not really resonate with me. It does not really match my theme. So I'm going to keep looking down until I see something that I think matches better. This is Diet, Nutrition, and Weight Issues Among Children and Adolescents in the book Weight in America, Obesity, Eating Disorders, and Other Health Risks. If I want to actually do that article, I'm going to click on the orange title, and it will take me directly to that article. Now, this is a particularly long article, so I could do Control F and actually type in the word that I want to look for. You'll also notice that anything I type to search for, so bullying or shame, would come up in red. So it looks like this section, and it's about 21 pages down in this particular article, actually talks about both bullying and shame. And this would be an article that I could use. One thing to keep in mind as you're looking at your ebooks or any articles, if you go to towards the bottom, you want to make sure you keep track of your citation information. For the ebooks, you'll see that there are links to other related articles, but right above that, there is a source citation. And the default is MLA, which is what you need. And you could copy and paste this into a Word document or Noodle Tools to start keeping track of your articles. The next source that I'd recommend after the ebooks would be Masterfile Premier. If you are using it from home, there does require a login of WMHS and Wolverine. Once you get this screen with a list of resources, I would still just click on Masterfile Premier and use the search box. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and check next to Masterfile Premier, again to highlight that I want that. You could also choose like History Reference Center if you wanted to compare your topic to something of the past. Okay. I'm just going to limit it, though, to Masterfile Premier for today. Masterfile Premier. And I'm going to go ahead and type in my topic. For this search, I chose Hypocrisy and Politics. You could choose advanced search options. You could use the Boolean phrase that we talked about, so hypocrisy and politics. You could choose full text. If you don't see where it says full text, take a look at where I'm circling. The benefit of choosing full text is that it will only give you articles where you can access the full article. Otherwise, you may get some results for articles that are only summaries of the full article, and that's not something you want. and you can search. And you can take a look at the title. Underneath, it will give you a list of sort of related links or topics, and it will also give you a short summary or the first couple sentences of the article. For some of them, you can look at them in HTML or PDF. So I would go ahead and choose PDF, and then you can read the article as it was printed. You can also see how long it is. Take a look at where I'm circling. This one happens to be 4 pages. At this point, I would save it to my computer. Make sure that you change the title to something you would recognize. I would also print. So if you don't see the print button, take a look at where I'm circling. And again, you want to make sure you choose the appropriate printer. If you're in the library, you want to choose the very first printer. If you're in a computer lab, make sure you choose the room that you're in or a printer suggested by your teacher. So again, save and print. And you can see again that the article is in its exact format. Another thing you want to do is keep track of the citation information. It is at that initial screen when I checked on the actual article and it still had just the abstract, you want to click Cite. It's going to give you choices, but you're going to need to scroll down to MLA and copy and paste that information. Again, you'll put that into Noodle Tools or Word. We'll double check it against our MLA handout and make sure that the site did it correctly. So again, let me show you one more time. I type in my topic. I choose Advanced Search Options, and I chose Boolean phrase and full text, and I searched. I looked through to figure out which article seemed to fit best. And if you click on the article title, you can cite it. You choose MLA and copy and paste it again into Word, or if you want to copy and paste it into Noodle Tools. And then on the left side, I clicked on PDF full text, access the whole article in which I could print and save. Okay. The next website I recommended was Culturegrams. I put that one on there because sometimes people may want to use shame and talk about how culture impacts societal norms, and that if you do something against a norm, that could cause shame. Well, how do you know what the cultural norms are from one place to another? If you wanted, you could look at Culturegrams and use that as a particular source. This site tends to be better if you're looking at the World Edition and you're looking at the customs of other countries. So for example, if I wanted to check Asia and China, you could look at something like dating and marriage or housing, family, life cycle, some of the ones in this area. So I'm going to choose dating and marriage. And as you read through, you may see certain things that are the norm and also things that are accepted. So for example, it talks about the minimum sanctioned age for marriage. It says most urban people do not marry until their late 20s. Many young people practice cohabitation, but usually hide it from their more traditional parents. That could be an example where you pull from and would talk about shame. But again, this would be China. So if you need to focus in on the United States, if I click on opposing viewpoints, it's going to give me essays that are more of a persuasive nature. You can keep them all checked if you want to do a cross-database search, but if you just want to look at opposing viewpoints, you need to deselect the others. And then you could type in something like sin and marriage. Again, narrowing our topic some. And we get a few articles. Some are comparing, this one's comparing black marriage versus gay marriage. marital secrets, cohabitating couples. So it does give a number of different articles. So let's say that you choose one. Okay. You're getting the text below. You see options on the right side for printing, emailing, and citations. Clicking on Citation Tools, just make sure that it stays MLA. Now, unfortunately, the downside of this website is that it is going to take work to edit the citation. Okay, the citation for this is not as good. It does give you an example of what an MLA citation should look like, but they do not create it directly for you. They simply provide all of the information that you may need, and then you have to reorder it. Okay, so again, I was searching opposing viewpoints, has good persuasive articles, and it may give you a number of topics you could look at, but the downside is that the citation is not as easy. Okay, the last one is ProQuest. This is excellent to search some of the more difficult or specific topics. It's a higher level reading, but it usually finds you something on even the most difficult topics. So full text is ideal. You don't necessarily need peer reviewed for this particular subject. For this, you're going to type in your topic and choose full text. In this case, I chose Puritan life and modern life. Actually, let me change that. Let's try United States, because we want to see if it has an impact or is seen today. I'll hit enter to begin my search, and it's given me over 18,000 results, so I possibly want to even narrow it more. At the top it does give you some suggestions, and if you view all, it'll give you even more suggestions. You could select certain articles and keep them in a folder while you're logged in this time, or you can go through and take a look. So heavily merchandised, so how religion shaped commerce in Puritan America, still Puritan after all of these years. Now this one is an editorial, but does sound like it may match the topic. So you can take a look through the article. Okay. And again, at the top, you can email it to yourself, print, and cite. So again, if you don't see where those buttons are, take a look where I'm circling. If I click citation, I just want to make sure that in this case, the default is not MLA. I need to choose MLA, 7th edition, click change, and then copy and paste. Okay, again, email to myself. I'm going to print it. If I cite it, I need to remember to change it from MLA. I have to use the drop-down menu and click change. Again, remember Boolean search and truncating that we talked about previously. And then if you need any help with your citations, you can use an MLA handout from myself or your teacher. There are also resources for Noodle Tools, Owl at Purdue, and Montgomery College.